Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 7 of NDPesic Group Uuuun-edited. Hello everybody once again. My name is NDPesic from NDPesic Group out of Tallahassee, Florida. I've taken the liberty to go ahead and do a couple of these vlogs outdoors, so I don't have my music with me. Today I wanted to go ahead and take a moment to talk about haters. Something as entrepreneurs, we all have them. We do. And the further you progress into your craft, the more I believe you'll get to see them. I did come to find that there are 3 different types of haters. You got 1, which are people that don't know you, 2, friends, and 3, family. Now I want to go ahead and break down and talk about each one of them. People that don't know you, they're going to be dismissive. If something's totally crazy out of their realm of understanding, you know, being dismissive is the quickest response to not really getting involved on the subject. You know, they're just not putting any effort into the thought of a project. 2, you're going to have friends that are going to be haters. That's a little bit more of a touchy subject in respect to, you know, you become involved with people and you have friends for life. You share many joys, you share many triumphs, you share many heartbreaking situations that arrive over 20, 30 plus years of friendship. To try to convince somebody of the plan that you have when they're close, and you do your best to convince them of what the plan is and what the project is, you're going to win some of them over, which is great. But there's always going to be those that are not going to be receptive to really, no matter what you're going through, no matter what the reasoning is and to that effect, you know, the way I see it is, you know, you're the master of your craft. You see the vision of what's going on, how things are supposed to happen, how things are supposed to evolve. So to have close friends, you know, hate on what you're doing, there's 2 things. You know, you could try to coddle, you could try to win them over, or you could just don't let it affect you. You know, that's a real difficult one for me to answer, simply because I've had quite a few close friends, and many of them this year I've lost contact with, simply because you know, from what I understand is they don't personally believe in the grand scale I've taken my friend's project to, and I could understand that they want nothing but the best for me, which is understandable, but at the same time, their lack of support in helping me get further along is a little disconcerting. It's heartbreaking, just because of, you know, you think of the times you've had together, but you know, now when it's crunch time and you want things to happen, you know, you lose touch, and that's understandable. Look, you know, people have their own things and their own lives and their own things that they're fighting battles through, and I get that. It's tough to be in that situation. The only thing that I can say is, you know, if you find yourself in a situation like that, you know, pay it no mind. You know, try to move forward regardless. And remember, it goes back to, you know, your immediate surroundings. I wound up finding refuge online on quite a few different entrepreneurial websites where people are very motivating, people are very encouraging, and they offer a ton of support, which I'm totally grateful for. It's unfortunate that it's not stemming from a closer net of people, but so be it. That's how it is. The third is family. You're going to wind up getting into situations where you're going to have close family really question what you're doing, the path that you're heading. I'm very fortunate that my entire family overseas is very, very supportive of what I'm doing, and they understand that that I put myself in a tough situation because of the funding. That's really all it is. But they understand what the rewards are going to be, and that's where the support and the support and the encouragement comes from. In my particular case, it's if you're sitting in a restaurant and somebody next, at a table next to you, you realize is choking on a piece of food, and you get up and you administer the Heimlich and you help them. It's a rewarding feeling. I'm in a position to where I could help many people. The haters need to understand that, as Brian Johnson from Braintree says, you've got to author your existence, and that's what I'm doing. I'm working on leaving a legacy behind, because after all, I do have a son, and I do want him to understand that as he moves on in life and as he progresses, that it's important to go ahead and give back to your community. Whether it's the local community, nationally, worldwide, whatever it is, it's important to help people at whatever scale, however little. It's important to give a helping hand. So as far as my family overseas is concerned, I love you guys to death. Thank you so much for the support. I have a couple of close friends that still believe in what I'm doing, and they aren't haters at all. There are a few that I've spent most of my life with that don't call anymore, and that's fine. I completely understand. But if it's a matter of the direction I'm going, I'm sorry. That's this is my path. There's nothing you need to be angry or dismissive about, because it's my path. On the flip side, as far as they're concerned, something that I think that they forgot is that 10 years ago, when I started working with polymer resins and with concrete, they wound up doing the same thing. And and it's funny because it's 10 years later, and I'm in the same process. I'm in the same situation of furthering my objective as far as my business and what I want to accomplish and how I want to accomplish it. So, they forgot that 10 years ago, they called me crazy, and who am I? I've been in the restaurant business for 26 years, and all of a sudden I'm talking about polymer resins and compounds, and adhering to concrete and designs and homewares and accessories, and it seems like they forgot that. And through that process, it evolved, and I pretty much will shut people up. Ultimately the proof is in the pudding. Well, here I am in the same situation. So instead of hating, embrace change, embrace the goodness that's going to come out of what I'm looking to do. But ultimately, as far as a message is concerned to other entrepreneurs that are out there, you need to become self-aware. Gary Vaynerchuk really explains it really well in his videos, and you should go check them out. You've got to be self-aware of what you're doing. If there's any slight doubt, if the numbers don't jive, then, you know, maybe your haters are right. But, you know, to silence them, you've got to be sure that the numbers jive, that everything falls into place, that you've done your research, you've done your due diligence to ensure that what you're doing isn't a waste of time. When you do that and you still have haters, the end result is really quite simple. They don't matter. They simply don't. I love my friends to death. They've been supportive during my most difficult times, and you know, we celebrated at our most joyous occasions. But as far as now and what I want to teach my son and what I want to do as far as leaving behind my own legacy, no matter how much love there is, they simply just don't matter. And that's how you have to view it. You're not going to go ahead and progress and move forward if you're constantly wondering what somebody's thinking or what somebody's saying. You know what people are going to say. You know what people are going to talk. Get that information solid. Ensure that your self-awareness, that you are right about what you're doing, and then everything else falls into place. You're going to lose some people. You know, it's expected. But don't allow other people's thought process and or as I tend to call them sometimes, visionless cubicleists. You know, and to me, a visionless cubicleist is, I've never worked in an office setting, so I'm not being derogatory to any one type of employment company or job position, but it's simple that, you know, if they don't have the vision, you have the vision of your project. So, you know, do not allow them to dictate your path. Just keep plugging away. You're going to do just fine. You're going to do great. You know, whatever it is you're doing, if you put your heart and passion and soul into it, nothing's going to stop you. You know, when I mentioned 10 years ago, going through the same process, you know, it's funny because I've been labeled crazy. I've been labeled, you know, the guy out in left field, and that's fine. But just to give you an example of one of the last pieces I did as far as for a Christmas present was my son actually found a nice intact maple leaf from a neighbor's house who had a maple tree, and he just handed it to me and said, "Dad, can you make something from this?" And I said, "Sure, you know, what do you want?" He's like, "Well, go ahead and make something." I'm wondering why. I guess anyway. Well, anyway, I tried flipping the camera over, but it didn't go through. But anyway, he gave me the leaf, and this is what I made. He wanted this for his mother for Christmas. An intact maple leaf wrapped in polymer resins, and he even signed it on the back. You know, "I love you, Mom," you know, as a gift from him for Christmas. So, you know, came out to be a super nice piece. They both loved it a lot. Now, if I could go ahead and manufacture that to put a smile on somebody's face, to think what I can do by manufacturing my friends and helping people that need it the most. Guys, thank you very much. You're awesome. For you entrepreneurs, just keep plugging away. Remember, the haters don't mean a thing. They don't matter at all. Just keep doing what you're doing. One people, one earth. Love you guys. Have a great day.